like to call to order the Code Enforcement Nuisance Board hearing for March 24th, 2026. Roll call.
LaPointe.
Here.
Bruni.
Here.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Holman.
Here.
Oliver Lewis.
Here.
And entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from February 24, 2026.
Second.
Bruni, Holman, roll call.
LaPointe. Bruni.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Oliver Lewis.
Yes.
If I can get the staff to stand up and be sworn in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay. Madam Clerk.
Agenda item 2026-12 is for Public Works. Case number 2025-11236 is an appeal to citation number 2025-17250.1 with a citation fine in the amount of $1,500 for the property located at 485 Old Stone Way. The owner is the Club at Old Stone LLC. The respondents present are James D. Scott and Heather Tuliano, and Officer Nick Lahan will present the case.
Good evening. So this one began as a referral from another code enforcement officer, Ms. Dara Price, one of our construction coordinators in Public Works, had noted the fill material that had been built up right where Old Stone Way tees into Scottsville Road. And as I understand, she'd had several email communications with Mr. Scott and a few others with Old Stone, and noted that it was, first off, a site work site without a permit. Any site work more than 350 square feet of disturbed soil, built up soil, anything like that, does require a permit. If it's over 750 square feet, we get into needing plot plans. If it can affect drainage, it will need an engineer's approval. This ended up being about a half acre's worth of fill material built up about 20 feet from the lower area at Drake's Creek. So my initial inspection was December 3rd, 2025. Found to confirm what Dara had noticed, unpermitted site work, and there were no erosion prevention and sediment control BMPs in place at that time. So on the 5th of December, I issued a notice of violation. I mistakenly hit it as a citation in the system, but it carried no financial penalty. So the noted codes in violation were the requirement to adhere to the BMP manual, including erosion prevention, sediment control BMPs for the site, and permits are required. So the abate dates were the 19th of December for the EPSC items, so to get silt fence in, get a construction entrance in, that kind of thing. Also noted to immediately cease adding fill in those, and the permit needed to be submitted by January the 9th. On the 31st of December, I came back for a reinspection, found no change in site status, although the bulldozer had been removed from site. So there was that one little item they had stopped. At that time, I emailed the representatives of the Club at Old Stone, Mr. Scott and Ms. Tuliano, along with several folks with the Owners Association. We were still working out who was responsible for that site at the time, and let them know that a citation for up to $1,500 would be forthcoming. And at the time, Dara Price and our Assistant City Engineer, Chad Doty, were working on arranging a coordination meeting with both the board of Old Stone and Mr. Scott to try to work through several items. So I held that citation until we could have that meeting. So on the 20th, since the date for the permit submittal had passed, I did another inspection, just confirmed similar, no change in the site, still no permit application received. And we finally got that meeting scheduled for the 17th of February. At that time, I hand-delivered the citation to Ms. Tuliano, and I emailed it to her and Mr. Scott the next day so that they all had a copy. On the 20th of March last week and the 26th today, I went back, saw no change. I've got some photos in here from both my original inspection and from the inspections yesterday. So this is the original inspection back on the 3rd of December. As I said, any site that has more than 750 square feet of bare soil as a job site has to have erosion prevention sediment control BMPs. can't have a site of this size without a stabilized construction entrance, for instance, and silt control BMPs on the downhill side. So, and if a site is left idle for more than 14 days, temporary stabilization is required. So grass or some other mulch, something like that. With a site this steep, where I think the face of it was pretty close to a 1-to-1 slope, that's going to be pretty hard to do. Next slide, please. So, can we get the next slide? Thank you, Brad. So here's just an overview aerial of it. The December 2025 overflights that we had flown, we have those annually, either us or the PBA caught the site pretty well, showing that it's a little over half an acre in total extent. And you can see just kind of, like I said, how extensive it is. So next slide, or next slide. And so my most recent inspection was earlier today, a little bit before lunchtime. At this time, no change in the site. I haven't seen a permit come through. There's no erosion prevention or sediment control BMPs on site. And as of right now, it's been open for 109 days, and we're still same place we were. And there's just another view of it, looking where you can see the face of the fill material that's been put in. And that's all I have.
The respondents are available. Ms. Giuliano. Mr. Scott, would you come up, please?
I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
Okay.
I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come here tonight to tell you why I'm here. And I guess might be a little bit off script, but I've been developing property here in Bowling Green for 50 years. 50 years. And I've never been down here because of a violation, because I believe in regulations. I believe in, we have them at Old Stone. But I think it's got a little out of hand, and I just want to start from the beginning. About the year 2000, I decided to build a upscale golf course and a golf community. And that's something I wanted to do. I was approached by the city of Gallatin to build it there. But I didn't want to do that because I lived here in Bowling Green. My businesses were here, and I wanted to build it here in Bowling Green. Then I went out, bought 525 acres of property, just raw land. And Richard Rector with the city come out, and he asked me, he said, Scotty, we'd sure like to annex that into the city. And so I thought, man, I thought, well, you know, I'd like to have city fire protection, which is good, but I don't know what else is going to help me. And so, but I did. I agreed that because Richard said we'd never get an opportunity to do that again. So it was annexed into the city. And then I went on to build the golf course. And it was annexed, and so went out there. First thing I had to do was build a bridge to get to the property, which was a $2 million deal that I had to put up to get to the property, which I did. And then I put in the water, sewer, built the roads, no cost to the city. City did put up one dime. But today, they have a revenue there from Old Stone over $3 million. Over $3 million a year. And we have 100 employees there. Still we maintain the streets. The city doesn't have to do that. And really, our regulations there at Old Stone are tougher than any one in Warren County or the city. We require, before you build a house at Old Stone, to have a licensed architect design the house. Then for that licensed architect submits his plans to our architect at Old Stone. Then he decides whether they're good or not. If it's good, he submits the plans to the HOA board there at Old Stone. And then if it's good, we call the owner of the lot, the contractor in. And we have a pre-construction conference with him. And we require sod on the property. Any house they build, we require sod to be put in. And then we move on. And I think that is, it's like I said, I'm for regulations and things that should be followed. And I guess, you know, that we went along for, we'll have a 20th anniversary this year. And we've been out there for 20 years until 2 years ago when we started having problems. Miss Price showed up. No one from the city had ever been there to inspect anything. Never. Well, because, look, we had some times, big rains, that mud would be washed on the street. Not say it didn't. But our HOA board worked hard, and our contractors, to clean it up and not to go into, you know, the drains and everything. And we did those things. Then we went through 3 floods out there. 3 floods. The creek overflowed into Old Stone. We had beer cans, oil cans, timber, and everything. Of course, it cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars each time to clean it up because the creek down the road has trees and everything else. It holds the water. It's hard to get through. But look, I didn't see that give Mr. Creek a ticket, but he sure put out more pollution there in one time than I could put out in 2 years. And I guess when it come up to, I'll go back again. This is something not pertaining to this, but look, Johnny Webb come to me, want to beautify I-65. Hey, I'm for that. I'm for anything to make our community better. He said, Scotty, the city doesn't have any flagmans or people certified to work on I-65. Or the county doesn't either. He said, would you mind taking care of that for us and helping us? So he did. Scotty's contractor was there. We went out there and built the produce in with no cost to the city or county. We absorbed that. And then Johnny and I talked about, we'd like to extend that beautify, I call it the Natural Parkway. And of course, you know, Natural Parkway ends out at the Old Stone Bracket, 231 there. And I said, I'd like to do that too. He said, we'll do that. And so we did. We took that off. And then I got thinking about, man, where you turn off Scottsville Road, going to Old Stone, growed up there, doesn't look good. So I wanted to put some topsoil over that, clean it up, be able to mow it, make a good entrance in the old stone. Which is inside old stone, looks great. And I wanted to do that, so we started doing it. And I would question, he said it's 750 square feet. I didn't see any cross sections of measurements of how much I disturbed. And I think he's wrong because we dumped anything in the floodplain. We dumped it on top to add to the slope. It's always doing, trying to get it smoothed up where we could sow some grass on it. And then I get this fine for $1,500 for trying to beautify the front of entrance to Old Stone. And I guess this sort of bothers me, something like that. And here, we have some pictures of the way it looks there going into Old Stone.
Sir, do you believe that the property's in violation?
What?
Do you believe that the property's in violation?
What?
Believe that the property is in violation.
Do I know that?
Do you believe that it is?
No, I do not. All right, and then here's where I guess I begin to think, was Old Stone being centered out? I said,
He wants this picture.
there's another, yeah. See, pass it. All right, just up this road 231, it's a pile of dirt up there. Been there for a year. I didn't see one bale of straw or one silk fence around it.
What were you saying this was? Is this not county? Is that not the county?
On 231,
This is right next to
across the front of the queue.
Audi Golf, the old Audi Golf.
It's a pile of dirt that's been there for a year. And if I did that at Old Stone, you know, it'd be out of compliance. And you asked me the question, if I think I'm non-compliance, the only thing I'd say, yeah, I didn't get a permit or I didn't think I need one to cover that slope up. And I wasn't going to build an entrance in off of Village Way because all I'm doing is dumping some topsoil there, and I'd have to tear that up and fix it again. Why do I need to do that? And I'm just here to pour my heart out to you, and
I completely understand where you're coming from. I think you had some valid points. Unfortunately, what we are here to do is, you know, we have to look at, you know, the situation and see if you're, you know, abiding by the rules, I guess.
sure.
You know, I appreciate everything that you've done for Bowling Green. I think everybody in this room would say the same. Unfortunately, you know, it's out of compliance. So does anybody have any questions?
I think what we're really asking for here, I think staff mentioned that we do not have any plan in place yet that we know of. So I think what we're really looking for, we're not really trying to fine you. The reason we're pushing to the fine is because we actually need you to hear us. We really just need a plan of what's going to happen.
I'm willing to do whatever.
Yeah, no, it's as simple as...
I'm not here to try to be against you. You see, I ain't bringing an attorney. I'm just there to talk to you.
Right.
That's all I'd like to, and express myself. And I just tried to tell you where I'm coming from. I've had a good relation with Bowling Green. Bowling Green's been good to Scotty, and Scotty's been good to Bowling Green. But I don't know, when I'm trying to make things look nice there in front of Old Stone.
Right.
And
Again, what we're really asking for is a plan, some kind of submission of plans. If we
say,
can,
what do you want?
that's something you could speak with the staff that's
You
been
mean you
attempting to
want
contact.
plans? All I'm gonna do is just to cover those rock up.
So in this case, the appropriate thing, anytime there is more than 750 square feet disturbed or planned for site work, an engineered drawing that shows the existing and final proposed contour, how drainage will move around the site is generally what's required. It requires an erosion prevention and sediment control plan. We also require that we have the name of a contractor certified in erosion prevention and sediment control through the city's program or an equivalent identified for the project, and we require those things to be implemented. So ultimately what we need, since this is, like I said, by my measurement, about a little over half an acre if you go off of the aerial imagery and GIS analysis, it would require a plot plan from a licensed engineer. It would require that contractor, and it would require an erosion prevention and sediment control plan. We just need to know what the final configuration is going to be and who we need to talk to if there is a violation for EPSC so that our inspectors can work it out without getting to this point.
Does that clarify what we're trying to communicate?
I guess so. I don't exactly clarify, but if that's what you want to have. You know, I mean, I don't see any need in me going out front there and put in a rock entrance in the front of Old Stone. When I'm not gonna haul any mud out or anything like that. And I'm not putting up a building there. Not doing any building. All I'm trying to do is, just like we have up down I-65, have it where we can beautify entrance into Old Stone.
I have a question, please. It looks like this was brought to your attention December 3rd. And conditions unchanged to today, which is roughly about 4 months. How do you explain?
Okay, I stopped because I figured it wasn't, you know, well, now we put some more dirt in there, but of course it's been over the winter time, and I can't go in there and I want to go track mud all over the road. And that's the reason for me, and wait till I get this settled. I didn't want to go out there working not knowing what I'm required to do. And I don't, hey, I'd be tickled to death to draw you a little set of plans, but what I wouldn't want to do is to put in a construction entrance there. Because all I have to do is just tear it up and have all that messed up there in front. And hey, all I'm trying to do is cover those, you see those rough rock, make that look better.
That's something that you could communicate with staff on what's going to happen, but really what we're just worried about, I think, is erosion occurring in the area. And I appreciate that you have been building in the area. I've been to Old Stone. It's beautiful. You're filling in an area that was previously vacant. I acknowledge that. And what the city wants is we just want some sort of plan for how we're going to green it to establish roots, if even that, you know, so that we're not getting the constant soil erosion that occurs with bare rock and bare dirt.
Hey, let me ask you this. Look, I don't mind filing for a permit, make you a little drawing, and showing you, like, say it's got to be 3 or 4 foot of topsoil, make your little drawing, send that in.
So based on the requirements as they're written in city code, when it gets to this scale, it can't just be a hand drawing. It's got to be something from a licensed professional, generally an engineer.
Oh.
So it'll have to be that. It can't just
We
be.
got a licensed engineer, we'll fill you up.
That would be great. So that's at the end of the day, that's all we're asking. We're not saying you can't do it. We're just saying we need to know, we need to have a permit on file for what's going to be there, what the final.
Be
grade
glad
will-
to do that,
That's ultimately,
okay?
as far as the construction entrance goes, that is a required part of erosion prevention, sediment control work. Anytime you have a substantial amount of bare dirt, we make individual home lots do it in a subdivision. So in this case, where you've got half an acre of bare dirt and trucks may be coming in and dumping and tracking dirt back out, that's where the requirement does come.
We're not gonna do that. You said we go track there. That's the reason I just wanna put that construction industry in, because we can control that. 'Cause we're not gonna track any mud out there or anything. We,
If you can keep it controlled without the construction entrance, we can entertain that. We would need a statement that
that's right.
that's gonna be what's going on and how that, track out will be prevented and controlled.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want any mud on that street
I figure you probably don't.
as bad as you do, because we try to control it.
Yes, sir.
Because we got neighbors out there that could be calling Heather there, tell us mud on the street, mud on the street. And we've had problems.
Sounds like you guys are gonna work this out, so we're gonna go ahead and, I'll make a motion to uphold the citation but waive the fine in the amount of $1,500.
Second.
Point Holman, roll call?
Lapointe,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Oliver Lewis.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you've got any questions, anything else, I'm here, happy to answer.
Appreciate you being here.
Please do work with them. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to move on, swearing in Rachel Crawford. So Mayor Alcott.
Up here. First of all, I'd like to say again, whenever I'm in front of our code enforcement, I'll say it's the hardest job in the city because everybody thinks that you're not doing anything about that neighbor, and everybody thinks when you are that person getting code enforcement on you, they think, oh, you're being picked on. But the goal is to be a successful, beautiful city. And I think we're trying to do that. It may be imperfect sometimes. However, that's the goal. That is who we are, and we're not changing that. For our board, you are citizens. I've picked each and one of you to serve, and I appreciate your service to our community. And we often need, and some of you have already raised your hand if you've been an alternate already on this board, barely. I know you were Bruni, but we have a new alternate, and it's my honor to swear you in today. You ready for this? Yes. Okay. Well, you look up at that camera and raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear,
I do solemnly swear,
state your name,
Rachel Crawford,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and be faithful and true
and be faithful and true
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
to the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
So as long as I continue
So as long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully execute
and I will faithfully execute
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
the office of
the office of
Code Enforcement
Code Enforcement
and Nuisance Board Member,
and Nuisance Board Member,
according to the law,
according to the law,
and I do further solemnly swear
and I do further solemnly swear
that since the adoption
that since the adoption
of this present Constitution,
of this present Constitution,
I, being a citizen of this state,
I, being a citizen of the state,
this is very important, all right,
okay,
have not fought a duel
have not fought a duel
with deadly weapons
with deadly weapons
within this state,
within this state,
or out of it,
or out of it,
nor have I sent or accepted
nor have I sent or accepted
a challenge to fight a duel
a challenge to fight a duel
with deadly weapons,
with deadly weapons,
nor have I acted as a second
nor have I acted as a second
in carrying out a challenge,
in carrying out a challenge,
nor aided or assisted
nor aided or assisted
any person thus offending.
any person thus offending.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, and you are now on the board.
All right. Madam Clerk?
Right. Agenda item 2026-13 is for Public Works. This is an appeal to a citation for case number 2025-11390, citation number 2025-17732.1, with a citation fine in the amount of $1,500. The property is located at 520 West 12th Avenue. The owner of the property is B&H Development LLC. The respondent, I believe, will be Mr. Hampton Moore. He's attorney for the client. And Officer Journey Nixon will present the case.
Thank you. This case was the result of a compliance inspection conducted on September 12th. And during this inspection, the following violations were observed: failure to install and maintain BMPs, maintain construction site good housekeeping, and failure to construct a stormwater basin per the approved plans. On September 12th, the property was inspected and failed due to the following items: failure to provide on-site concrete washout bins, resulting in concrete washout in the basin and on the job site. Trash containment: the trash bin on site was full, and the trash was actually blowing out to the neighboring properties in the basin and on the job site. The basin was not graded per the original plans, as far as it was missing a emergency spillway and 2 riprap channel flumes. The channel flume that was installed was full of concrete washout, and it was in the basin. Not only that, during this inspection, I did pull the plans, the original plan set, and provide those to our assistant city engineer and our geologist for them to review. The basin is holding water, and this was not providing positive drainage, so I did request that this be sent back to the original engineer who drew the plans so they could review this and then provide comments to the city. On the 12th, this compliance inspection was sent out to the listed contractor, Mr. Russell Hankins, and there was no response that the email was received. And then on October 2nd, a phone call was made out to Mr. Russell Hankins, and I went over all the items listed. There was a conversation, and then I also had sent out my contact card for any communication efforts. Mr. Russell Hankins did respond and state that the dumpster would be changed out by the 3rd. On the 8th, so backtracking or going forward a little bit, the email that was dated for the 12th of September. I went ahead and forwarded that to the EPSC listed contractor, Mr. Trevor Hawkins. And the city, we did confirm that he would be the EPSC contractor for the site. So he is responsible technically for all BMPs, such as silt fence, straw wattles, concrete washout, items like that. So I wanted to ensure that he did receive that compliance from the contractor listed. If not, I went ahead and sent him that email. Mr. Hawkins did confirm that he was going to be the EPSC contractor for the job site. So I went ahead and forwarded him the email from 9/12, and there had been no communication thereafter. So on November 11th or November 10th, the property was re-inspected and remained in violation for the same items. On November 11th, I went ahead and sent out the compliance email, and I included Mr. Russell Hankins and Mr. Trevor Hawkins, stating that the site was in violation for the following items. Blowable trash, as you can see in the pictures, there's blowable trash in the basin. The dumpster was open. They were just throwing trash in the dumpster and allowing it to blow out. And then there was also trash spread along the job site. But still, the basin had not been completed according to the previous email mentioning the plans that needed to be sent back to the engineer. And also, it was not constructed per the original plans regardless. So the emergency spillway was still missing, and 3 riprap flumes were missing as well for drainage. I also called out the outlet pipe was not installed per the plans. And then, of course, the permit wasn't posted on site. So I did go ahead and forward this email to both contacts. On December 5th, a follow-up email was sent to both Mr. Hankins and Hawkins, The email reinstated these items for the following email sent for the month before. I did not receive any communication back from either respondent. So on December 15th, I conducted another inspection, and the site remained in violation for the following items. Concrete washout. A washout must be contained until it is dried. The current washout had made its way into the basin, which is still in violation. Trash containment. The trash containment was still on site and still needed to be picked up at the end of the day. And then the basin issues were still in compliance. So hadn't received any compliance from the engineer, still missing main components from the original plan set. Those are photos from above. Silt fence is installed but had failed, so it still requires maintenance throughout the construction of the project. You still see trash in the basin. The basin is still holding water, and then trash on site and even on neighboring properties. So on the 15th of December, I sent out an email to both Hankins and Hawkins. And then on the 16th, I actually did speak to Mr. Hankins over the phone and discuss the violations. On the 17th, after I had sent out the email and also spoke with him, I went ahead and sent both the contractor and the EPSC contractor on the next inspection. I told him that they would be, the next inspection would be on the 29th, and if the site remained in violation for these following items, that I would issue a notice violation. On the 29th, the day of my compliance inspection, Mr. Hawkins did forward me the email from his engineer. The engineer did make some comments in regards to just the positive drainage. And so the original plan was requested on 9/12 for these drainage comments. On the 29th, they still remained in violation for the other items, so EPSC, BMP, so silt fence straw wattles, concrete washout in the basin, riprap flumes, and emergency spillway. On the 29th, I went ahead and issued the notice of violation. I sent this violation via email. I did reach out to both Mr. Hankins and Hawkins in text to let them know that the inspection was conducted and that a notice of violation was on the property for the remainder of the items. I let them know that the compliance inspection would be held on January 7th. And then on January 7th, I inspected the job site, and as I was on site, there was a cleaning company picking up the job site, and I went ahead and did a conditional pass for trash cleanup due to the attempt to make compliance. The basin and the BMPs were still outstanding, and then I did have a conversation with the cleaning company. They had not made it to the basin area or the units, and after speaking with them, they were under the impression that they had until the 8th, and I did tell them that that was not the case. The compliance date was actually set for the 7th, but I was like, you know, it doesn't matter, you're out here and you are making conditional compliance. So I did conditionally pass on the 7th. I went ahead and reached out to Mr. Hankins and addressed this with him and noted that the company hired to clean the site would not be responsible for the silt fence or the BMPs installed for the job site, that he would still need to address the basin issues, including riprap, flumes, et cetera, including the trash cleanup. And then on February 11th, I inspected the job site again. And then I went ahead and issued a citation. This job site still failed to comply with the BMP manual. They failed to store trash and construction materials in proper containments. And then also the basin work had not been constructed, nor there was any compliance and communication back and forth whether they would make compliance on this basin. The citation was issued in the amount of $1,500. On that date, I went ahead and sent out a compliance email along with photos to both Hankins and Hawkins, just restating. So that is on February 11th. You can see trash is still on site. Your basin is still full of trash, still holding water. Flumes are missing. Emergency spillway still not installed. I did state that, actually, let me back up just a little bit. I did discuss these matters with Mr. Hawkins. He did claim that the basin was installed per the plans, but the plans did not reflect city requirements, and he was addressing the drainage. So the original plan set did come in, and it did not show positive drainage, but we had this discussion back in November, October, November, that we would need reviewed plans to show positive drainage, but I also reinstated that regardless, the original plan set was still not met because it was missing original components. And then I reinstated that I did send out emails on 11/11, 12/5, 12/15, and a notice of violation was sent out on the 30th of December. All these emails referenced the basin not meeting the plans. The basin was still missing all those components. On March 18th, the job site failed again for the same compliance items. I went ahead and sent this inspection to Mr. Hawkins and Hakens stating all these items. I texted them as well just to let them know that my inspection failed. And then as of today, the job site still remains in violation. I have not received any comments back from the engineer, and also haven't received any comments back from Mr. Hankins or Hawkins in regards to making compliance. And that was today, or that was on the 18th of the inspection. Listed discharge in the basin, trash containment, basin still meeting requirements. Okay.
I'm going to give, first off, my name's Hampton Moore. I'm here for B&H, the property owner. I'm going to give a summary of kind of the background of the project. And one, Stuart Ritchie.
Speak into the mic.
Stuart Ritchie is the contractor who's responsible for the basin. Landmark Engineering is the engineer who's responsible for the plans. I think there was some issue as to the approval process, and I think later on it was discovered that additional requirements were met. I think that plans were submitted to the city sometime in 2026, and it's my understanding that the property owner is waiting for an approval of those plans before implementing any corrective work to the basin. And I would like to call as a witness for the property owner, the property manager, to testify on that behalf. So I would call.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, state your name, please.
Ron Cummings.
Mr. Cummings, are you the property manager for B&H Development?
Yes, sir.
Do you manage all properties for B&H Development and other entities owned by Russell Hankins?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the property we've been discussing here?
Yes, sir.
Is it your understanding that plans have been submitted to the city for approval, and upon receipt of those approved plans, B&H is prepared to perform the work requested?
Absolutely.
Is it your understanding that a cleaning crew was present today that attempted to start work to clean the job site, but that work actually needs to start tomorrow?
That's correct.
Do you feel that B&H is agreeable to complying with the requests made to become compliant with the code's requests?
I believe so. I think that part of what my understanding of this is that the original plans that were submitted were approved, and then it was something be modified and changed from the original plans. And Mr. Hankins is waiting for approval, something back from the city to tell them exactly what they need to do in getting the drainage basin corrected to what they want. I think that's what I've been told on them, and that they're just waiting for that, and we'll make whatever changes are necessary to be compliant with that.
I can, if you can hear me. I have sent our comments back to Mr. Hankins and Hawkins, so he does have our comments back from the city. From my understanding, they are waiting on their comments back from the engineer. Yep.
All I know is that Mr. Hankins was waiting for a final set of what you want done exactly, so he can install it and do it one time and do what's required. And he is fully willing, able, and capable of doing that correctly.
Those are all the questions. I think I would just ask for 60 days to continue that review process to see if it's where the plans are and what needs to be done to get it compliant.
And I may ask, if I might ask, if I'm included in some of these discussions or whatever, I'll make sure that the communication is done well. Russell's a great guy, and sometimes he's not always best at responding to stuff, but if I get involved, I promise you I will. So.
Officer Nixon, what do you think about the prospect of 60 additional days based upon your observations to date?
So for the basin work, as long as you keep the city involved and you tell us if there's gonna be any changes, or if you at least let us know that you guys are gonna be working on the basin, that will be okay. The basin does have to be, completely finished before I can approve my final on that, before you can get a CO. Stormwater is, typically supposed to be installed before the buildings are up anyway. But I can give you 60, but you still are responsible, or whoever's going to be representing EPSC, or going to be the sub, or going to be the contractor on site, they are still fully responsible to ensure that this basin is as compliant as far as trash containment. If you're going to have a concrete or riprap flume, you can't have concrete in your flume, reducing volume, things like that. So I can give you 60 days for you to install this basin correctly. Just make sure that all of your BMPs are installed properly and that it's built per the plans.
For my limited knowledge of what I know is that whether it's engineering or whether it's Stewart Ritchie construction that once we get the full paperwork of what they're requiring to do, I can assure you they'll do it the way it needs to be done. And I don't know, I was told it's held up in the city. I don't know if it's held up from the city or if it's held up from the engineer office, but somebody needs to be able to move it forward to let us physically do the things that need to be done.
Your engineer at this point.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and do that. Do you got a question?
A follow-up for Officer Nixon. So the engineering is one thing. The trash is quite another.
Absolutely, yeah. The trash is a whole nother ballgame. I will say, the basin wasn't even constructed fully per the original plans, regardless if we take out the revised comments. So the revised comments were addressing the positive drainage that wasn't there. But even per the original plans, they are missing the original emergency spillway. They're missing 2 out of the 3 riprap flumes that were supposed to be installed as well. The basin wouldn't even be able to fully drain because their pipe is elevated. So it's still things like that that are missing per the original plans. And from my understanding, Mr. Hawkins said that they didn't want to make any improvements to the basin until the comments back from the engineer. I think they wanted to do all the work at once, but I was not notified until my citation was issued 4 months later.
Would anything have prevented the trash collection to be clean other than the questions about the engineering?
I'm sorry.
Well, what prevented them from cleaning up the trash is my question. So that's clearly a violation, right? I understand there's some uncertainty about the engineering, but the trash is quite another matter.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion? I make a motion to uphold the citation and fine in the amount of $1,500.
Second.
Holman, Bruni, roll call?
LaPointe,
No.
Bruni,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
No.
Holman,
Yes?
Oliver Lewis.
No.
I'll make a motion to table this for 60 days. I do ask, I don't know where they went. Are they gone? Oh. I do ask that you communicate, though. Communication is key, and then pick up the trash. So I'll make a motion to table it for 60 days.
If you're just making a recommendation, since you've already
Nope.
ruled on your citation and fine, the majority will carry the citation to be waived. Is that what you're saying? No? The motion failed. Okay. Okay.
Excuse me, the motion failed.
Yep.
Now there needs,
Yeah, I was
the
making a new
floor is
motion.
open for another
Yeah.
motion.
Okay.
New motion. So yeah, I'll make a new motion to table it for 60 days.
Second.
Point Gonzalez, roll call?
LaPointe,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes?
Oliver Lewis.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Moving on to old business, agenda item 2026-15 is for Public Works. This is a appeal to a citation for case number 2025-11008 for citation number 2025-16705.
Pam.
I believe we still have one more appeals for 1641 Media Drive.
Oh, I apologize. We do. I'm skipping over one. So backing up to agenda item 2026-14 is for code compliance. This is an appeal for a citation fine in the amount of $256.04. Case number is 2025-9506. The citation number is 2025-14121.12 for the property located at 1641 Media Drive. The owner is Glenda Faye McFall. The respondent on the appeal form was Melvin Coulter. The owner is present for the code board to speak with, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was the result of a complaint-based inspection that was conducted on September 18, 2025. During the initial inspection, the following violations were observed for an accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris. In addition, we've also received citizen complaints about the property on September 18th, September 26th, November 6th, and February 9th. In addition, there were prior complaint cases in May 2025 and July 2024 for similar violations. And since 2023, there have been 7 code cases at this location. So on the date of September 18th, where we received the original complaint, an NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance reinspection date of September 30th, 2025. On October 3rd, 2025, the property was inspected and remained in violation. Contact was made with the tenant, Melvin Coulter, who advised that he was working on bringing the property into compliance but requested more time. He also explained that he was working on constructing a chicken coop and he was advised to obtain permits from the building division. On November 7, 2025, the property was inspected and remained in violation. Some progress was noted, however, there were still construction materials on site. Contact was attempted with Mr. Coulter, but contact was unsuccessful on that date. And on November 14, 2025, Mr. Coulter reached out to staff advising that he was working towards bringing the property into compliance, but requested more time. And on December 29th, contact was made with Mr. Coulter requesting an update and relaying that the property continues to warrant complaints. Mr. Coulter advised that he was still working on cleaning up as he could. And on December 30th, he forwarded photos of some progress that had been made towards compliance. And on December 31st, staff followed up on the property and observed what appeared to be a vehicle backing in to clean up some of the debris. And on January 14th and the 22nd, the property was inspected and remained in violation. On February 4th, the follow-up inspection was moved out due to some inclement weather. That's whenever we got all the ice and snow. And on February 12th, the property was inspected and remained in violation. There have been no contact or updates from the property owner or the tenant. It was verified with the building division that a permit would be needed for the structure that was being constructed. And after consulting with the division manager, a citation was issued and posted on the property, as well as sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. The inspection date listed on the citation was February 23rd, 2026, and the following violations were listed on the citation: for a permit that's required for an unlawful structure, the violation for the unlawful structure, duty of maintenance of private property, junk and scrap metal, and an accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris. And there's some pictures from the 12th. And you can see that structure on the left-hand side that's being constructed. And on February 18th, the property owner came to our office and an appeal was filed. No further inspections or contact have been made due to the filed appeal. As of today, March 24th, the property remains in violation. For the permit that's still not on file, or hasn't been applied for that structure that's being constructed, duty of maintenance, junk and scrap metal, there's still that construction, and there's also an improperly parked trailer in the front yard of the property now. This case has been open for 187 days.
And there's somebody here?
Yes. Ms. McFall?
All right, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. So help you God? Yes. All right, state your name, please.
Good evening, my name is Melvin Scott Coulter. This is my grandmother, Glenda F. McFall.
Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
Starting from the beginning we moved in about 2016, we attempted to maintain good relationships with our neighbor, the complainant. Hi, Mr. Bruni, it's good to see you again. In 2020, unfortunately, those relationships soured. And in 2021, the building that was ordered to be demolished by the city, Ms. Tabor, I'm afraid I don't have the dates for those. I'm sure you can assist me with that, was pinned to be demolished. It was successfully demolished as of last year in June. Unfortunately, we did not obtain a demo permit that paused our plans there. We achieved the permit in, I believe it was, let me pull it up exactly.
You said that it was demolished, but then it paused. It said, was it just halfway demolished?
The building was demolished to the posts. The posts were planned to be reconstructed in order to allow storage for personal belongings. Unfortunately, we decided not to go along with that and instead to begin building a fence using the posts. The permits with conditions are attached on page 2. This was received an email from Ms. Tabitha Joyner on 5/29/2025. We were able to then begin removing debris. Unfortunately, I became employed. And as you well know, employment has to take priority at some times. At the current moment, I am due back to work as soon as this is over in order to resume work today. I am currently working 40, 50, 60 hours trying to play catch up with the previous blizzard. Cold weather snapped in this January and December and February, as you well know. Last contact with Ms. Tabor was on December 29th. At which point I sent her a picture of what was being cleaned up that day. I messaged her on February 13th about the letter itself.
There are other neighbors present that would like to speak. Okay, just. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, state your name.
Ross Allen Goodnison. I live at 1649 Media Drive.
Okay.
I've been witness of them cleaning it up. I've been down there helping them. Even though I'm recovering from a broken hip, I go down there and help her during the day. We can only get so much done. We have filled one trailer, many trash cans, and have another trailer ready to load again. Couldn't do it during the winter. Obviously, can't pick up all that stuff in the ice and the snow and the mud, but we've been working on it. And that's all she has pictures of another trailer sitting there. We have pictures of the stuff that has been moved. I can only help so much. The young man works all the time. She can only help so much. That's all I have to say about that.
All right, thank you. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you
Yes, I
God?
do.
Okay.
My name's Tom Lawrence. I'm the magistrate for the 2nd District, and I've been involved with this case for multiple years. We're talking about for a long, long time. I've been over to that house and taken pictures many, many, many times. I've got the photographic evidence in my pocket that it's been in violation for multiple years. It has never been in compliance in years. So all I would ask is that you guys do something to make sure that there's not a delay game or playing games with this property, because I've been knowing the Elmores for a long, long time. Their property is in compliance 100% of the time, all right? But their neighbor's property is never in compliance. So they're left in kind of a bad situation when they're having to deal with something. There's been, I've seen pictures of dead animals laying in the backyard. I've seen, I've been there before and there's just been piles and piles and piles of rubbish that just seem like it just sits there. Now, it'll move around a little bit, you know, but it has never been cleaned up in years. And that's the facts. Anything else? I'm trying to think of something else I would say about this. It's just, I don't have anything against, anybody at all. I just would like to see a level playing field, like if, like when Scotty was here, there was code for that, you know, and he realized, I guess, that he was out of compliance a little bit, but, you know, he is, you know, got engineers on staff. He's got a massive construction company, and he can, you know, he can fix a ditch or anything else for that matter, you know what I'm saying? But I would like to see just compliance to where it is actually within the bounds of code, and that's it.
Thank you.
Yes.
I would love to see the pictures of the dead animals to start with. But on to compliance. We have made multiple attempts to come into compliance. Ms. Tabor can affirm to our attempt to destroy the building and successfully do so. On the day that we attempted to demolish the building and succeeded, Ms. Elmore was spotted taking pictures and recording, and on the next day filed a complaint. As far as we know of, it was her. And Ms. Tabor is to the affirmative that the stop work order was issued the next day. We are attempting to be in compliance. It takes time. As Mr. Ross has stated, I work. My grandmother is unable to assist. If you would like to call additional witness of great repute to this city, you may contact Mr. Epley down at the Informational Technological Department. He is one of the ones who assisted us on a day that I was working a 14-hour shift. Or if you prefer, you can make contact Officer Epley, my sister. She was also there to assist in the removal. I also have pictures of that day from removal if the board would like to see.
Something you want to add? I don't want to see a picture of a dead animal. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I've got one question for you, Mr. Coulter.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe that this yard is in compliance with Bowling Green?
Absolutely not. And I am attempting to fix that, sir.
Okay. And can you tell me how long, even before these complaints, it has been in the state?
In this state, it was started in June of last year. But as stated, we were issued a stop work permit that did not take effect to the 5th. 6th.
And I see
Well,
that-
actually, no, April. We started in April. I can't get my month straight. I'm sorry, it's been a long day.
Okay, I see one of the violations that there is no permit for the structure. So you went through with the demolition, which I think that's correct, right?
I am currently in dispute of the yard, sir. As to the structure, I disagree that it is a structure. I would argue that it is a fence. It lacks a floor and a roof, sir. I know, wording, but what's wrong?
Yes.
There are two buildings.
Come.
We did a little
Over here.
storage shed,
Over here now.
and it's a 6x6, which means it is 36 square feet. Anything
Calm down.
over 120 square feet needs a permit. This one does not need a permit. The chickens are in their little coop. It is a 10 by 10, which is 100 square feet, within the limits of no permits.
So, ma'am, do you believe that you all are in violation?
Danny?
We are at some point, but not for the building permits, ma'am.
Calm down, please.
Officer Tabor, so this began September 18th, 2025. They've lived there roughly 10 years. Have there been other?
So I don't remember how many cases there were, but there were multiple cases on there. The case that he's talking about for the demolition is actually for a different case that we had received a complaint about. And there was a carport storage, something, I don't know what you exactly would call it, but it was demolished. They did get a demolition permit for that. After that, they used some of the materials to construct this structure or whatever you want to call it. And I consulted with the building division, who, one of the building inspectors did say that the size of it looked like it would need a permit based off the size and where it's at in the structure. But like I said, that demolition permit was for a separate case than this one, and what they're saying is that it does require a permit.
I'm confused.
All right.
You say it's a fence. She says it's a building.
No, there's two different.
Okay.
There are one structure in the back left corner, which can be seen in one of the photos, that was constructed in order to replace the building that was demolished. The reason we bring up the demo permit is because this current case, I believe, is a direct causation of the demolition and the requirement of the demo permit. That is where the debris originated from, is the building in the picture right now was there. It was about a 2.5-story building that we tore down in one day in order to try and rapidly get into compliance. Unfortunately, we have not been able to rapidly get into compliance.
What kind of timeline do you think this would require you to get it cleaned up?
Right now or required?
Realistically, how quickly?
In that picture right there, real quick, in the back right, you can see the storage building. It's been there for almost 2 or 3 years. There have been no complaints made about it as far as I am aware of. As to the timeline, sir, I can have this finished in about 30 days now. I have updated pictures of the yard. The reason I say 30 days is I'm working 60, 70 hours. I can only do so much one day a week. I gotta have time to eat. I gotta have time to sleep. I apologize, sir.
Would you also have the junk, scrap metal, all of the debris removed in 30 days as well? Is that what you?
In this picture, you can see a piece of scrap metal closest to the fence. That is currently where a dog has been buried. That will be able to be removed probably in about 10. This is unfortunately an outdated photo. That is a more recent photo, obviously, of the 24th, showing that mainly what is left is the thick tar paper that was on top of the roof. We are attempting to find something to cut it because it is quite heavy. We have managed to find a saw blade that is disposable, and we will be buying about 10 of them in order to cut it up and remove it.
So you're telling me there's a dead animal in the yard?
Underneath that, buried about 5 feet. That is my dog that was euthanized at the Humane Society by my mother, Michelle Epley. She is a director there, back in last month. Sorry, it's already March.
All right, so you're saying in 30 days you will be in compliance?
I'm not in compliance with 30 days. Go ahead with the fine. Put me on record for that. But at this time, I do not believe a fine is a benefit to the city or me. I'm not the Old Stone. I'm not the LLC that was just up here. I'm not a construction company.
So, Mr. Broderick, is it best to just table it for 30 days or uphold?
I think you're better to uphold.
Oh, okay. All right, any more questions? Oh, you do want to speak, okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do, yes.
Okay, state your name, please.
Kim Elmore. I'm directly next to their property. You can see our fence, their pictures. This has been going on multiple years. We call, someone will come out, they'll get somewhat in compliance, it's dropped. I would say at least the last 4 years, it's been this bad, off and on. But since May 18th is when, on a Sunday morning, he tore that building down and just left it all back there. For weeks, he was just going to leave it. Till, yes, I did call because we saw 2 rats coming out of the debris. There's been multiple snakes in our yard. We've never had issues until that happened last year. Anybody that comes to our house to do anything, cable, phone, anything, they all are in awe of what we have to live next to. Our yard is not the best, but I try to keep it up, and I just don't think it's fair that we have to live next to that. And yes, it's not good relations. We stay in our yard. They stay over there, no talking to one another. It's that kind of relationship. But as long as they abide and keep their yard nice, pick it up clean, and we don't have rats and snakes and all that in the city, like, you know, I don't have a problem. They go about their business, we go about ours. But it's like something needs to be done. They need to be held accountable.
Right, and something like this affects your property values. These are your neighbors. This is within eyesight of your property.
I live with my mom,
Yes.
and she's had a stroke, and this kind of bothers her, so I'm up here talking even though it bothers me.
Do you have something you want to add?
Ms. Elmore's daughter claims this has been in violation for 4 years. This part has been in violation for only 1.
No, I said this has been going on off and on. You have issues in the last several years.
Look.
Here's the thing. We are judging on what we have in front of us, so it may have happened. It may be going on for a few years. What may be a mess to you a few years ago may not be out of compliance. So we're just going based off of this. In the end, just because he gets a fine doesn't mean he's going to clean it up. So right now, he's saying that he will clean it up in 30 days, and I'm going to trust his word. I am confused on which one we need to do here, though. Are we doing? I'd like to push it to 30 days, give him the 30 days, but I don't want to.
I think you can do that. That would be appropriate motion to do it, say, in 30 days now. I guess my question to you, is your motion going to be to have it back before us in 30 days, or are you going to fine him in 30 days?
If I may, I will not contest in 30 days. There will be no need to put it in front of you. I will sign a check and put it in your bank.
My thought, Mr. Chairman, is if he says it's going to be done, it would probably be better to see it in 30 days to make sure it has gotten done. If not, we've just delayed the process another hearing time or two. So I would do this. I would pass it for 30 days for him to be back here and for us
Just
to.
table it. All right, so I'll make a motion, table it for 30 days.
I do have a question as to the building, whether we are ruling it as a building or fence, though. I need to know what permit to file, because it is open top and no floor.
It'd be a question for Brad.
Fair enough.
The chief building inspector or one of the building inspectors has said that you need a building permit, not a fence permit. You can bring these pictures up to our building when you come to file the permit. You can ask to speak with any of the building inspectors, show them the pictures, say, what do I need? They'll have you draw it out on a piece of graph paper, square footages and all that. It'll have to go through a few days of process, and then the permit would be issued. So the easiest thing is to bring whatever you have up there when you come to file the application for the permit. But my assumption is definitely that it would be a building permit that would be required.
Very well, thank you, sir.
All right. I will make a motion to table this for 30 days.
Second?
LaPointe, Gonzalez, roll call.
LaPointe.
Yes.
Bruni.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Holman.
No.
Oliver Lewis.
Yes.
You have 30 days.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen.
Madam Clerk.
Now moving on to old business. Agenda item 2026-15 is for Public Works. This was an appeal for a citation for case number 2025-11008, citation number 2025-16705 for the citation fine in the amount of $2,000 for the property located at 1960 Stonehenge Avenue. The owner is Tybo's Home LLC. The respondent is Ilone Tron, and Mr. Tai Nguyen is here to address the board when it comes to that point, and Officer Nick Lahan will present the case.
Hello again. All right, so we have seen this one before at the most recent meeting. I'll just go through kind of the quick recap. This was the state it was in at the time of the last meeting. The drainage work had actually, sorry, this is the week before the last meeting. So they had started the drainage work at this point. The sewage had been abated by this point as well. You guys opted to table it to this meeting based on the fact they were out there working at the time on the 24th of February. So have gone back. Brad, would you mind to go to the next slide, please? Sorry. So came back today and last Thursday before I submitted my report. Today, Mr. John Upton, the contractor for Mr. Nguyen, was out there working on the swale and the earthwork to get the drainage items abated, and has since sent me some pictures from this afternoon's work as well. His work is completed at this point. They have established a swale to carry water down the property line, as can be seen on that right-hand photograph, And then on the left, you can see where there's a bit of a berm built up to get water to, that is running off down that swale to curve over into the basin as it's supposed to, instead of just going straight out over the back of the property. And since these photos were taken around noon, Mr. Upton got in there and has established erosion prevention and sediment control items, rock checks, and silt control blankets, erosion control blankets, excuse me, to prevent scouring. And at this time, the site should be in compliance.
There's nothing we need to do.
Want to hear from the respondent?
Sure. Oh, you. Okay. I swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
Okay. State your name, please.
John Upton.
Do you have anything you want to add?
We've just been working on trying to get the erosion control berm built up, and I've been working with Nick trying to get that done in a timely manner. So we finished it up today, got some rock checks in, like you said, got the grass seed down, straw blankets.
So we're saying that it's actively in compliance.
Yes, sir. The conditions that led to that department have been abated. Now, we'll say, as I noted at the previous meeting, the only reason there was a financial penalty on that citation was for the sewage discharge, which was the second time in about 6 months at that site. So this part was simply a note that it was out of compliance. I did not include any citation or fine associated with the drainage work. It was just something that needed to be brought to compliance at this stage.
Thank you. All right. Madam Clerk?
Would need to still.
Still need a motion.
Yes.
We don't have motions.
I make a motion to dismiss the citation and dismiss the fine.
As a reminder to the board, dismissing the citation says that staff did not do the proper thing and did not issue the citation properly, or that the property was not in violation when the citation was issued.
All right, amend that, uphold the citation, dismiss the fine.
Second. Bernie Lapointe, roll call.
Lapointe.
Yes.
Bruni.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Holman.
Yes.
Oliver Lewis.
Yes.
On to new business. Agenda item 2026-16 is for code compliance. This is a request for approval to issue a per-day fine citation. Case number is 2025-1535 for the property located at 302 Clearview Avenue. The owner is Danny Brown, and Officer McKenna Tabor will present the case.
This case was the result of a proactive inspection that was conducted on February 27th of 2025. During the inspection, the following violations were observed: for accumulation of construction, demolition, and landscaping debris, and accumulation of rubbish. There's a truck on site that's being used to store materials. An NOV was sent to the PVA listed owner and address on that date with the compliance inspection date of March 11th, 2025. 3 citations were issued September 26th, October 8th, and October 23rd of 2025. The following violations were listed on the citation listed on 1023 for accumulated construction, demolition, landscaping debris, rubbish and debris, parking in the yard, and an improperly parked and stored trailer. And that's the first citation that was issued back in September, the second one, October 8th, and then the third, October 23rd. At the November 2025 Code Board hearing, a request was approved for per-day fines for this property. And there's that per-day fine citation that was issued on that date. The reason why it was staked in the yard is because they do have large dogs that run around the property, and I did not want to get chased by a dog that day. So the property owner contacted staff and requested more time to bring the property into compliance and was afforded another month to do so. So on December 30th, the property was inspected and remained in violation, and that's the date that the citation was actually posted. The $100 per day fine was issued, posted on the property, and sent by first class and certified mail to the PVA listed owner. What you're looking at in this picture, that's actually from the street behind it. You can see all the materials in the back of the truck from, it's kind of hard to see, but that's from Valley Brook, the street that is on the other side of Clearview. So it's affecting the neighbors on the other side of the street having to look at it. So on January 6th, Mr. Brown, the property owner, contacted staff and requested an on-site meeting. Division Manager Bradshaw Garotsky and myself met with Mr. Brown on site, and a total property inspection was conducted and all violations were discussed with him. There's the backyard, which was not ever visible prior to now being there with him where he had the dogs put up. It should be noted that on this day that Mr. Brown did move the truck and trailer out of the grass, and he promised continued contact and cooperation with staff in an effort to bring the property into compliance. The 60-day period elapsed on March 2nd, 2026, and the property remains in violation. There's been no contact from the property owner at all, or any noticeable effort made to bring the property into compliance other than moving the truck and trailer out of the yard, which he had done back when we met in January. This is a request for authorization to issue a second per-day fine citation. And as of today, it's been open for 390 days and remains in violation.
Make a motion to authorize issuance of a per-day fine citation amount of $100 to run for a period of 60 days or until compliance.
Second.
Point Gonzalez, roll call.
Lapointe,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Holman,
Yes.
Oliver Lewis.
Yes.
All right. Madam Clerk?
Just announcements and comments. So just welcoming Rachel Crawford as our newest alternate to the Code Board.
I will say that the mayor should have saved telling you how hard this job is for after. I'm glad you stayed. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Oh, the next hearing will be Tuesday, April 28th of 2026. Motion to adjourn. I'll make a
Second.
motion. All right. Lapointe Gonzalez, roll call.
Lapointe,
Yes.
Bruni,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Holman, Oliver Lewis.
Yes.